Hello and welcome back to Clear Skye Thinking. Our days at Skye seem to be getting slowly better, but we're not quite done with day 3 yet, so let's continue. Some date this turned out to be. There's nothing here. Hey, I know Adversary's not that big, but there's not nothing here. Okay, I stand corrected. There's almost nothing. Why, you... Piper pouts. My father would be very upset if he heard you say that, Ellie. How could you be so heartless? Are you trying to tell me Adversary's community hall and old church... Oh wait, that's her. Are you trying to tell me Adversary's community hall and old church aren't great points of public interest? They're like monuments, practically landmarks. Piper furrows her brow, but I'm sure she doesn't really mean it. I think she's trying not to laugh. She must know better than I do how little Adversary has going for it. She has lived there for more than half her life. I'm still not quite sure how to pronounce it, okay? Ardwasser might not be a ghost village like Borerac, filled with crumbling bits of abandoned homes, but it's close enough. It's built among Skye's verdant green hills. You can't get away from vegetation. It's everywhere you look. The single skinny road that runs through the village is bordered by trees, and the old church and the singular grocery store are similarly shrouded. There's a post office and a small arts and crafts shop painted pillar box red, and that's about it as far as Adversary's points of interest go. Since the village is built on an incline, you can see all the way out to the distant hills and lakes when you stand on its peak. It's not much, but even I have to admit that the view's pretty nice. I don't know if it's nice enough to make up for how dead and small and empty this place is, though. I'm sorry. How will you ever forgive my insolence? Adversary's is incredible. Beautiful, really. I'm not sure why I didn't see its manifold charms earlier. Can you see it in your heart of hearts to overlook my rudeness? I think I can let you off the hook if... If what? Oh, nothing. Piper laughs and extends her arms above her head. The sleeves of her oversized hoodie slide down, revealing her wrists. About her right wrist I can see a length of colored cord, or maybe rope, knotted roughly together. It looks like some sort of bracelet. I never took Piper as the sort to wear jewelry, not even rough, shoddy jewelry like that. Ellie, my girl, you don't know what a friendship bracelet is, do you? It's obviously not an expensive bracelet. It looks homemade. I wonder where she got it from. But Piper lowers her arm, and the sleeve of her jacket covers her curious bracelet again. You have a point, though. This place is pretty dire. If you think you have it rough staying here for a week, you should try 10 years. No thanks. It sounds miserable. You're not wrong about that either. I've often thought to ask my dad what I did to deserve such a cruel and unusual punishment. It's not like he needs to live out here. He works remotely. He could do his job virtually anywhere. Why Skye in particular? It does seem a bit unfair, uprooting the whole family so suddenly. Didn't your mother mind? She protested at first, but Dad talked her around. He always does. He does seem rather good at talking, yes. If it was an Olympic sport, he'd definitely take home a gold medal. Oh well, I'm here now, and it's too late to complain. It is pretty sad out here, but the views are nice. There's not much to the village, but I like how close to nature it all is. And there's this beach too. I like coming here when I want to be alone, which is more often than you might think. I know it's not the prettiest of places, but it's pretty relaxing. Sometimes I wonder what it'd be like to find an old message bottle washed up on this shore. Don't you think it'd be like something from a story? That would be cool, I guess. But it seems unlikely. Yeah, I guess. The best things in life usually are. Doesn't stop me from pretending, though. Instead of pretending, why don't you try sending a message out in a bottle yourself? You never know. Somebody might stumble across it. You say that like I already haven't. I've sent dozens of SOS messages, but nobody's come to rescue me just yet. Wow. Do you really want to be rescued? Nah, not really. I'm just joking. Sure. Right. That's what Piper says, but I'm not entirely convinced. Everything she's told me over the past few days paints quite a vivid picture. She seems to like the scenery of Skye well enough, but I think she's sick and tired of the solitude. Who wouldn't be? This island seems almost too small to contain a girl like Piper. She's so full of energy, and it looks like there's a lot she wants to see and do. But she's been cut off from the rest of the world by the dark grey ocean. This beach is one of many cut-off points around Skye, a place where the land merges with the water. It is relaxing in a sense, but it's also desolate, not in the least because Piper and I are the only ones here. I might be calling this place a beach, but that's quite a generous description. There isn't any sand to speak of, and the grey waters are hemmed in by a curved crescent-shaped coast. I can see yet more hills in the distance, green and verdant and veiled with fog. When isn't it foggy in Skye? I can't imagine many children coming to play by Ardvasar's coast. Making sandcastles would be an impossibility, and while paddling isn't entirely off the table, I wouldn't want to risk it. The muddy silt is choked with wild grass and tall weeds, and there are sharp rocks and pebbles scattered about, ready to cut unsuspecting souls. I think I'll be keeping my shoes well and firmly on my feet. Washed up on the muddy shore, a little to my right, are the remnants of an old wooden boat. The boat's tipped precariously to one side, encased among the dirt. I think it might have been painted green once upon a time, but age has chipped most of the paint away, and the wooden boards that make up the boat's hull are starting to decompose. A few gulls are perched atop the boat, standing sentinel. They look at me and Piper, the black eyes small and beady like glass balls. The birds don't make any noise. They're eerily silent, their white wings tucked about their bodies like capes. A cool wind blows along the harbour, troubling the grey water, and I shiver. Those birds have the right idea. I wish I could wrap a pair of white wings about my body too. This might be a beach of sorts, but the weather's not very tropical. It must be about 10 degrees, maybe even less. I can't believe it's supposed to be the summer. The sun might have set, but it shouldn't be this cold. Yeah, but I was about to say, if the sun has set, and you're near water where it's usually a bit colder. Yeah, but okay, sure, 10 degrees in summer, that's a bit harsh. The waves lap against the shore. The old boat, laden with seabirds, watches on. It doesn't creak or moan. Hey, Piper, how long has this boat been here? I don't know. Piper shrugs her shoulders helpfully. It's been here ever since I can remember. Ever since I was a little kid, actually. It's pretty cool, huh? I wanted to play in it when I was younger, but my mother told me no. She said it was dangerous. She was probably right. I'm sure to an inquisitive young child, hurriedly uprooted to Skye at such a young age, this abandoned old boat must seem like an exciting playground. It's certainly more exciting than Adversar's other attractions. There's something a bit sinister about it though. The aged wood, flecked red and brown and black from age, doesn't look very sturdy. Some of the wood's already torn away from the hull of the boat, revealing the vessel's skeletal innards. The sides of the boat are stained whitish green from years of bird droppings, and something about it looks very sad. I don't know how it ended up here, or what happened to its previous owners. I guess they must have abandoned it once they figured it'd take more effort than it was worth to haul it off the shore and back into the water. It reminds me of the old houses back in Burarak. Like this boat, they'll never be used again. Something about it sends a shiver down my spine, but maybe that's just the wind. It really is chilly out here. You never dress for the occasion, do you? What a gloomy day this is shaping up to be. I can't imagine you listened to your mother's warnings. Didn't you ever explore that boat? Who, me? Piper points to herself, her expression one of wide-eyed innocence. Do you really think I'd ignore my dearest mother's wishes? I'm hurt. I know you would. I heard about those missing biscuits. And, like I said, I wasn't the one who ate all of them. Dad lent a hand too. But you're right. Piper grins sheepishly. I did try to explore that boat once. I think I was 8 or 9. Mom took me here for a walk. She warned me not to run off, but I didn't listen. I wanted to get onto the deck so I could look around, but I was too clumsy. I cut my hand on an old rotten plank and I got a fair few splinters from it. I started crying, but it wasn't because it really hurt. It was mostly the shock. It wasn't like I was dying or anything, but Mom fussed something fierce. You should have seen her. She was acting like I'd had my whole arm chopped off. She marched me right back home and she ran my palm under the sink and she covered it in this huge roll of gauze. I had to go to school like that the next day and, for once, everybody was impressed. They wanted to know what had happened, so I said I'd been attacked by a bear. And did anybody believe you? Some of the kids did, I think. I scared Lana half to death. But she's always been a bit of a scaredy cat. Kendall wasn't having any of it, though. Kendall. One of my classmates. We went to primary school together. I hoped I could get rid of her when I went to secondary school, but since there's only one secondary school on the whole island, well, you do the maths. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what happened. Piper's been stuck with the same classmates from primary to secondary to tertiary education. On a small island like Skye, it's impossible to avoid people. I haven't tried to examine that boat since. It's not worth the hassle, and I think I'm too big now. I'd just fall through the deck with my huge feet. Piper smiled ruefully. Piper might have told me about this old boat, but something else about her wistful tale has given me food for thought. I'm curious. You said you go to secondary school in Skye? That's right. That's kind of funny. I didn't think there'd be any secondary schools here. I glance around the scrubby shore. It's separated from Adversar by a bit of a walk, but I think it's fairly representative of the island as a whole. Small, secluded, and surrounded by seagulls. Adversar itself seems to have a population of about sub 200, don't quote me on that, and most of the dog walkers I've seen walking down the streets in the early morning seem pretty old. Skye seems like the sort of place wealthy men and women go to retire, or bored British backpackers stop off to take in the scenery. Piper's literally the only person my own age I've seen on the whole island so far. I don't blame you for being surprised. I was surprised too when I first moved here. Skye's small, but it's not completely desolate. Of course there are more people around our age. We teenagers are a rare breed, but we're not non-existent. Some of the kids here go to boarding schools on the mainland, and they stay there like 5 days a week and come back at the weekend. My mother didn't want that though. She wants me to stay here, where she can keep an eye on me. She doesn't trust me, you see. Maybe she has a point after you scraped up your hand on that boat. Maybe so. Guess I've always been impulsive. Piper kicks at a loose pebble with the tip of her father's old cast-off trainer. I go to school in Portree. I think I might have mentioned it already. You said your mother works there? Yeah, she does. Just my luck. Piper groans. Sometimes I wonder if she got a job there so she could keep an eye on me. I guess I don't mind school though. Since it's the only secondary school on Skye, it's pretty big. There's about 500, maybe 600 students. I think it's about the same as most schools in Scotland or England. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Well, the uniform's kind of terrible, and I always hated maths. But I'm in 6th form now, so I don't need to wear a uniform or study maths. What? You get to go to a year where you don't need maths? Oh boy. Every cloud has a silver lining. That's right. It's not such a bad school. It would have been better if I hadn't been stuck in the same class as Kendall for 5 years, though. Don't you like Kendall? I don't really have a problem with her. She's the one who can't stand me. She's had this thing against me for ages. Don't you know why? No, well... Piper's smile takes on a rueful edge. Maybe it's because I slammed her fingers in the classroom door this one time, back when we were in primary school. It was a total accident, but she didn't see it that way. Neither did the teacher. I got into a bunch of trouble back then too. You seem to get in trouble a lot. That's what my mom says. It's 'cause I'm clumsy. And maybe kinda stupid too. Piper bends down as she speaks and retrieves a smooth-ish stone from the shore. She straightens up, tossing the stone in the palm of her hand, eyes focused upon the ocean. She draws back her arm, lips pursed, and lets the stone fly. It skips across the water 5 times before sinking into the deep with a plop.
All right. Did you see that, Ellie? Wasn't that cool?
It was pretty cool. I don't know how to skip stones myself.
It's not that hard. My dad taught me. You've just got to find a good stone, then pick your angle.
Piper tries to show me the knack to skipping stones, but I can't seem to grasp it. All my stones sink without skipping, swallowed whole by the unforgiving water. A few stray droplets splash through the air. They pepper the hem of my skirt, but for once, I don't care. I'm having too much fun with Piper to worry about my clothes. There's just something fun about her, I guess. She's kind and patient, and she isn't at all overbearing. I can't believe I ever thought she was like Ian. They might look similar, but she's a lot sweeter.
Well, you'll get there eventually. Don't give up. Is what I'd like to say, but it's not like skipping stones is a great life skill or anything. Mom always tells me if I spent half as much time on my studies as I do clowning around, I'd be on track to be a brain surgeon.
What do you want to do when you get older?
I don't know. It seems a bit too soon to think about it. But I guess it's not that soon. I only have 1 more year in 6th form left. 1 more year in Skye.
Piper looks out to the water, her expression inscrutable.
I do like this place, parts of it at least, but it'd be nice if I could move when I get older. I guess that's my goal for now. I'd like to get out there and see a bit more of the world.
I mean, I'd imagine if you want to get a job, you have more possibilities outside of Skye. Well, maybe depending on your degree, but that's not everything.
What about you?
I don't really know myself. I'm still thinking.
Then that makes 2 of us.
Piper smiles at me, and I smile back. I feel a certain understanding bloom between us. The sort teens can never really have with adults, even, or especially, their own parents. Piper and I might live in different places. Well, we live in different countries, but we're pretty similar at heart. We're 2 relatively young people who've yet to set off into the great wide world. We still don't know what we want or what we're going to do. But I'm sure we'll get where we need to go eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
The 3rd day. Finish the frightful 3rd day. It wasn't that frightful, was it? But I have a feeling all the achievements for the days will read something like that. Okay. I wake up early the next morning, just like I did the morning before. I planned my outfit before going to bed, and it's hung up neatly in my wardrobe. My various accessories, meanwhile, are resting on my bedside table, ready to be draped about my body. Today, I picked out a mostly white JSK by Juliette et Justine. White? Really? Okay. This JSK has a long demure hem which stops a little past my knees, which is fringed with layers of tulle. The shirt I chose to pair with... Jeez, I blanked for a second. The shirt I chose to pair with it, oh my god, is dark and long-sleeved, a little translucent. It's a simple, understated kind of outfit, but I'm pretty fond of it. I think it's classy and elegant without too much pomp. I'm a classic Lolita through and through. As much as I love the bell-shaped silhouette of a Lolita skirt, I prefer my outfits to be in neutral colors: greens, browns, whites and beige. I rarely wear wigs or lenses, and I don't overload my wrists and neck and head with accessories. We can agree there, keeping it a little simple, although I'm more fond of sweet Lolita styles myself. Most of the time. Depends. But yes, simple is best. I have nothing against sweet Lolitas who decorate their heads like fairground carnivals, or gothic Lolitas who wear heavy winged eyeliner, but those sorts of looks aren't really for me. I got into the style because I wanted to look refined. I dress in this manner for my own self-satisfaction, and I pick out my outfits in accordance to nobody's tastes except my own. As you should. I've never once cared about appealing to or appeasing other people. That's why I don't let the negative comments or rolled eyes I receive get to me. I've never paid any heed to what others say before. But this morning, as I smooth the creases out of my dress, one person keeps flickering to the forefront of my mind. Well, who might that be? Let me get a look at this. Yeah, if you think this is a simple outfit. There is more casual Lolita out there, even in classic, but you do you, girl. No matter what I do, I can't stop thinking about Piper. She seemed to like my other outfits, but what will she think about this one? Maybe she'll think the limited color palette is boring. Could it use a few more accessories? I guess I could always style my hair differently. I've been tying it up into 2 twin buns for most of the trip. Well, that's one thing that's kind of practical for this. I think it's a cute style, which goes with most of my clothes, but maybe I've gotten complacent. Should I wear my hair down? Maybe I could braid it, like a fantasy elf. I know how Piper feels about those. Oh, that's cute. I don't know why, but I'm starting to dither. I turn this way and that, examining my outfit. Should I change my tights? My blouse? It's still early, a few minutes to 7 if my phone's to be believed, so I should have just enough time to change everything if I want. But why would I do that? What would be the point? It shouldn't matter if Piper likes this outfit or not. It's much more important that I like it, since I'm the one who's going to be wearing it, and I do. I've gone out in this exact outfit numerous times before. Why am I starting to doubt myself? I don't get it. I frown, picking at my dress all the while. It would be much easier to see the full effect of this dress if I had my floor-length mirror here with me, but I don't. Why doesn't this bedroom have a mirror anyway? It's making me feel anxious. But I guess I need to try and deal with it. Why am I worrying so much about Piper's opinion anyway? I'm being stupid. I don't get it at all. Oh dear. To my relief, not that I was particularly worried or anything, it looks like Piper's pretty fond of my outfit. She compliments it when she arrives at my doorstep that morning in that endearingly earnest manner of hers.
That dress is adorable, Alice. I think it's even nicer than the one yesterday.
I want to accept Piper's praise, but she's being so nice it makes me feel awkward. In the end, I wind up rebuffing her kindness at the last minute. Thanks, but I wasn't really going for adorable. I was trying to look elegant, or maybe classy. Plus, this dress has a few flaws. Nah, don't do that. Don't point out flaws. I got it second hand and there's a stain on the hem that won't wash out.
What? Really?
Piper leans in, arms linked behind her back, as she examines my clothes. She looks a bit like a detective might, minus the deerstalker hat, and I'm beginning to feel oddly like a suspect. I know I haven't done anything wrong, unless disliking Skye is a criminal offense, which, to Ian Carter, it might be, but I take a step back all the same. My face is still a little flushed. What's the matter with me this morning?
Oh yeah, I guess there is a bit of a stain down here.
Piper draws back, smiling.
Well, don't worry about it. I never would have noticed if you hadn't pointed it out.
That's not saying much. I don't think you're very attentive.
Maybe not, but that's not my fault. I was so bowled away by how cute you look.
Well, I'm not used to being complimented on my appearance by anybody other than my dad, and even then I think he's only humoring me, and I blush. Shyly, I look away. I don't want Piper to see just how red my face is. The thought is embarrassing. Piper's dad, unfortunately, has about as much tact as a rhino. He laughs aloud, slapping his knee, and cries, "Would you listen to that? I never knew our Piper was a lady killer. She'll be making all the girls swoon." Yes. Hilda frowns. I'd really rather she wouldn't. She'll make poor Alice feel awkward. Oh, let the lass alone. She's only joking around. And that's what girls her age do. So one girl cannot call another cute? Come on. Well, I wonder. Hilda folds her bony arms across her chest. She doesn't look impressed, though I'm not sure why. Is she really that affronted on my behalf, or has something else aroused her ire? It's hard to tell with Hilda. She's far less forthcoming than her husband. She's a lot less jovial too, sharp and standoffish. I never thought I'd have anything positive to say about Sir Talk-A-Lot, but I'm starting to think I might prefer him to his wife. Let's all stop picking on Piper. I'm sure she means well, and that goes without saying, given she is my daughter. Now look here, Hilda's put together a fun excursion for today. I'm sure you'll love it, Michael. You don't need to reassure me, Ian. I've enjoyed every way you've taken me on this trip so far. Good answer. That's what I like to hear. Today's destination is special though. Even Ellie might like it. What a bold claim. There's a lot less walking, for one thing, and I think that pretty dress of hers would be quite at home here. Really? I eye Ian skeptically. During the last 2 days, the Carter family have dragged us across the Sleet Peninsula. We've seen a few tourist spots, but we've also done a lot, and I mean a lot of walking. It's a wonder I can still keep pace with all of them. Swapping into a pair of trainers yesterday helped a little, but my dresses aren't really built for the Scottish Highlands. I was able to keep them relatively clean, but I've leathered 2 pairs of tights already. I was prepared for today's excursion into Skye to be another cavalcade of misery, blunted only by Piper's presence. But maybe not. Is luck on my side after all? Where are we going?
I thought you might be interested. We'll be visiting somewhere elegant and classy, just like your Jess. Marie Antoinette would be hard-pressed to find anything better. It's smaller than Versailles, to be sure, but it's every bit as scenic, if not more. We'll be going to Armadale Castle.
Castle. I frown. Ian sure is bigging up this place. I'd like to be optimistic. But then again, he did that with Dunscath Castle too, and look how that turned out. I've never heard of Armadale Castle before, but I wonder what the odds are that it'll be a miserable pile of craggy, ruined rocks. I'm not an optimist by nature, and I don't fancy my chances. Maybe Ian can sense the hesitation in my face, because he lets loose a great booming laugh, which makes me wince.
I know. We don't have the best track record when it comes to castles in Skye. We have a lot of lovely monuments, but most of them have fallen into wreck and ruin. You need to use your imagination a bit if you want to pretty them up. Armadale's not like Dunscath though. It's still in one piece, more or less. It even has a roof.
Ooh, a roof. Imagine that. Ian's really selling this place. In my opinion, a roof is the bare minimum a castle needs to really be called a castle. But Armadale's already sounding more promising than Dunscath.
You're not allowed to go inside the castle itself, but it's nice to look at. Its walls are covered with moss and ivy, and it's surrounded by a huge garden. There are trees everywhere and flowers, like an enchanted forest.
Sometimes you can even see deer on the grounds. They're a bit shy though, so they usually keep their distance.
That's because a certain somebody... Hilda shoots her daughter a pointed look. Gets a bit too excited when she spots them and goes gallivanting after them like a hooligan.
Hey, I haven't done that in ages. Not since we last went there. When was that again?
It was last summer, you silly girl.
Oh, it was? It must have slipped my mind.
Good grief. Wow, I really don't like this exchange. We're painting Hilda as a bad guy here. Hilda tuts and shakes her head. You've always been so rambunctious, ever since you were a child. I can't keep my eyes off you for an instant.
It's alright, Mom. You don't need to keep your eye on me today. I'll be with Ellie, and I'm sure she'll look after me.
You can't ask Alice to look out for you, Piper. She isn't your babysitter.
No, she's not. She's my friend. She'll keep me on the straight and narrow. Isn't that right, Ellie?
I'll do my best.
There, you see? You don't need to worry.
Oh, you know me. I'll worry regardless. But very well. I suppose I can give the two of you some distance if you want to look around on your own. Armadale is quite pretty, Alice dear. The gardens are attractive enough, especially in the summer, and there's also a museum.
There's a cafe there too. The food there's pretty good. They serve a lot of yummy cakes and scones. My stomach's starting to rumble.
Piper, you can't be hungry already. You just had breakfast.
Sorry, Mom. I can't help it. I'm a growing girl.
I wish you'd stop growing. Your feet are already the size of canoes. I'm afraid you'll never be able to fit into a pair of heels. Wow.
Oh, come on, Mom. I'm clumsy enough as it is. You don't really want me wearing heels, do you?
I suppose not, no. It would have been nice to have more of a feminine daughter, though. Sometimes I feel like I might as well have given birth to a boy.
Boy oh boy.
Hilda tuts and shakes her head. In any case, I want you to keep away from the cafe. I packed a picnic lunch, remember? I won't have you spoiling your appetite on sweets.
Aw, but Mom...
But nothing. Hilda shoots Piper a fierce glare, and Piper, unusually, falls quiet. I take it that this is the end of the argument. Hilda might not speak as much as Ian does, but I think she's even more effective at shutting down conversation than he is. All she needs to do is glower. No, I think we've talked enough. Shall we set off? Oh yes, right you are, Hilda. You can follow along after our car, Michael, though I doubt you'll get lost. Armadale's only about 5 minutes away, and it has this whacking great car park up front. It's highly civilized, unlike the rest of this island. Now, this is starting to sound more like my thing. I'm very big on civilization. I don't know about Ian, but it's definitely my thing. I wasn't very fond of Dunscape, and Borerac was nothing short of depressing, but Armadale sounds like a nice enough way to spend a day. It seems much more in line with the stately homes scattered across the UK, the ones outfitted with toilets and gift shops and overpriced National Trust cafes. I doubt Armadale Castle will be competing with Versailles anytime soon, regardless of Alan's spiel, but it should be charming enough. I'll just have to wait and see.
Exactly.
To my relief, Armadale Castle manages to live up to my expectations, low though they were. The castle itself looks bleary-eyed, like a sleepwalker. I can see through the stone windows that the interior's been gutted, the innards all scooped out. There'll be no fancy chandeliers or chaises longues in there. Chaises longues. Is that a spelling mistake, or do you write it like that in English? Should be chaises longues, I think. But okay, I'm not being nitpicky here. I'm just confused. The gardens are very pretty though. According to Ian, there's a good 40 acres of garden fanning out in all directions, with a neat path running throughout. The path is lined with trees, and the grass, neatly trimmed unlike the wild tangle around Dunscape or Borerac, is studded with flowers. Piper and I part ways with the adults as soon as we can, and meander about the gardens on our own. During our walk, we come across a stone archway fringed with ivy, clusters of pink primroses, and a lake dotted with lily pads. A sweet scent lingers in the air, and a gentle breeze tugs at the hem of my dress. This day's a good deal warmer than the previous ones, and, for once, blue sky is, unusually enough, devoid of clouds. The sun, meanwhile, is beating down on the top of my head, warm, but not unbearably so. In other words, it's just right. I feel like I've left the dreariness of Skye behind me. The fog and the mist can't reach me now. I finally escaped. These gardens must be a better tourist trap than Dunscape, because I've seen actual people, insert surprised face here, wandering around. There's a few families with excitable young children, no doubt come for a stroll, and elderly couples promenading hand in hand. I've seen a woman with an easel tucked under her arm, and a man with a pair of binoculars, and a beaming husband and wife with a pair of bored teenagers bringing up the rear,
both tapping away on their phones. I asked Piper if she knew the Boer teens. She did say there's only one secondary school on Skye, but she shook her head.
I don't think they're from around here. They're probably tourists.
I think it's a little strange that there are people other than my dad who are bonkers enough to waste their precious holidays coming to Skye, but I guess it takes all sorts. If all of Skye was as pretty as Armadale, maybe I wouldn't mind coming here either.
It does sound nice. It's such a nice day.
Piper does a neat 360-degree spin with her arms aloft, like a pagan praising the sun.
It was kinda cloudy last time I came here. It even started raining. Mom brought a picnic back then too. She likes fussing over fiddly things like that, but we couldn't eat it in time. It started chucking it down, and all of our eggs and cress sandwiches were soaked. The little fairy cakes too.
Piper grins at this fond recollection, and I grin in return, albeit guiltily. I'm glad Hilda's not here to hear this. I don't think she'd be very happy if she knew her only daughter was mocking her earnest attempts at being the next Mary Poppins. Horsey Hilda doesn't look happy about much, come to think of it. Maybe she's too posh to smile at a lowly commoner like myself. And what did your mom do when that happened?
She said it didn't really matter, but she was pretty tight-lipped for the rest of the day.
I mean, I can get that if you're making a plan and it gets ruined and nothing turns out like you wanted it to that day, that's very frustrating. That just sucks.
I can tell it pissed her off majorly, even if she's too prim and proper to admit it. She makes it pretty obvious, though, the way she carries on.
Your mother does seem a bit...
intense?
I was going to say controlling, but that sounds right too.
Yeah, she kinda is. She means well, I'm sure, but... well... let's not talk about her, or Dad for that matter. Not when we finally gotten away from them. What do you think about this place, Ellie?
I think it's nice. It's peaceful. Pretty too.
I know, right? I've always liked this place, though I think you blend in a bit better than I do.
Piper takes a few steps back and forms a picture frame with her thumb and forefinger, which she then holds up before her.
Oh yes, that angle just there is very nice. You really do look like a princess.
Come off it. You're kidding.
No, I'm not. All these trees really set off your dress. You look so elegant with that big fluffy skirt. You could be a real princess for sure. In fact, this gives me an idea.
What?
Would it be alright if I took a few photos? Please, Ellie?
Piper whips her phone out of her pocket. Call me a snob? You're a snob, Alice Shah. But I can't help but notice how old her phone is and how battered. It doesn't even have a protective case. Talk about ratchet. The phone might be a couple of generations outdated, but it's not so old it doesn't have a camera. I can see the lens, a single dark circle embedded into the back of the phone. I look down at my feet, suddenly shy. Why do you want to take my photo? I'm nothing special.
I think you are. You're my friend. It'll be something to remember the trip by, and you do look nice. It'd be a waste not to take a few snaps of you, all dressed up like that.
I'm not dressed up though. I always dress like this. I've lost count of how many times I've trotted out this line during this holiday, but it doesn't seem to stick. People just don't get it.
Always, always? Even on lazy days when you're lying in bed and watching Netflix?
Well, not always, no. If I'm not going out, I wear old t-shirts and shorts and things. I dress like this more often than not, though.
Now that's dedication. I could never.
Same girl.
That makes me want to take your pic even more, though. I've never seen anybody who dresses like you. If I don't take a few pics, I might start thinking this is some kind of dream.
Oh. Alright, fine. You can take a few photos, but I have some conditions.
I think it'd be better if we were both in the frame together.
Oh, that's... yeah. I think it'd be better if we were both in the frame together. Wouldn't that be better?
Eh?
Piper gestures towards herself, a look of disbelief on her face.
Do you really want to take a picture with me?
Yes, I do. Why should I not?
That's very kind of you, but I don't know if it's a good idea. Mom says I'm no good in our family photos. She's always telling me to stop gurning. I'm not cute at all, and I'm definitely no lady. You heard her. If I was in our photos, I'd just get in the way.
I don't think you'd get in the way. Why would you? We're friends. I'm not going to be here very long, so, wouldn't it be best if we made some memories together?
Well...
I guess I'm the only awkward one. Piper's smile is starting to look fairly bashful, too. I'm actually surprised that Alice is the one, making that suggestion, but good development. Calling them friends by herself.
I guess when you put it like that, that might not be such a bad idea. I'll try not to ruin the photos.
You won't ruin them. You should have more confidence.
That's kinda the opposite of everything my mom tells me. The girls at school too. They seem to think I should have even less faith in myself, if that's even possible.
Well, they're wrong. Don't listen to them. They don't know anything.
I don't know if anybody's told my mom she doesn't know anything before. I'm a little afraid of what might happen if somebody did. But thanks a lot, Allie. If you really don't mind, then... let's do this.
Piper stands next to me, then strikes a pose. She grins, her grin is pretty goofy, and holds up her phone.
Like this?
I think you should try to act a bit more natural.
Then, like this?
No, not like that at all. Now you look like you have lockjaw.
Taking selfies is harder than it looks, and there's a real art to this.
That's true.
Maybe if I pose like this? Hey, look who it is! I didn't think I'd see you out here, Piper. Huh?
Piper jumps, alarmed, and her phone slips from her fingers. It hits the ground with a thud, but she doesn't try to retrieve it. She's frozen like a deer in the headlights, her eyes almost comically wide. There's a girl about our age standing near us, a girl who's very pretty. She has blonde hair and her doe-like eyes are carefully made up. rimmed with eyeliner that puts my own to shame. She might be wearing makeup, but it's immediately obvious that she's a natural beauty. Her clothes are cute and simple. She's wearing a plain white blouse with a Peter Pan collar and a high-waisted skirt. Who is she? Well, I have a guess.
Now is that any way to say hello? Cat got your tongue?
The girl smiles, not entirely pleasantly.
Your mom wouldn't approve of that. What is it that she always says? Ah yes, you're meant to be polite to people, Piper. Don't you want to fit in?
The girl's impression of Hilda is so spot on it makes me shiver. She's a pretty good actress.
Well,
the girl shakes her head.
You've lived here, what, 10 years now, and you haven't made much progress on that front.
It must be a shame, being such a slow learner,
though I wouldn't know anything about that, of course. Speaking of your mother, where is she? She doesn't usually let you off her leash. Isn't she afraid that you'll get into trouble? My mom's not here right now. Well, I can see that. I'm not blind. So, who's this?
The girl inclines her head towards me.
I haven't seen her around here before.
A friend of yours?
That's right, yeah. This is Ellie. She's here on holiday. She lives in London.
London, huh?
Oh, nice. I'm jealous. What's Ellie short for? Alison?
Alice.
I see. I should have known. You look like an Alice. What with that dress? It's so fancy. Do you usually wear clothes like that?
Most of the time, yeah.
Wow, that must take a lot of guts.
The girl's words are cordial enough, but it's obvious that she's making fun of me. Her raised eyebrows make that more than apparent.
Do all girls in London dress like that? Is it fashionable over there?
Not really. I dress like this because I like it. That's all there is to it.
And you don't get any funny looks?
From time to time. This girl's being pretty rude as it is. She hasn't laughed in my face, not yet at least, but that smile of hers looks more like a smirk. I'm used to it. I don't let it bother me. The girl looks at me mutely for a few moments, her lips pressed together, before she shakes her head.
Well, at least you've made a bit of an effort with your appearance. That's more than can be said for Piper over here. She's so plain, I feel almost sorry for her. Then again, I doubt there's much point teaching her how to wear makeup. You can only cover up so much. Now I should probably be going. I don't want to interrupt anything. Have fun in Skye, Alice. I know there's not much to see out here. It's definitely not as cool as London, but it's not all bad. I'm just sorry you had to be stuck with a weirdo like Piper. If you want my advice, I'd keep your distance. She has a bit of a reputation around here.
A reputation? What reputation?
Candle, please. Don't.
Piper stares at the girl. Candle? Her voice unusually strained. It's not like Candle's done anything to hurt Piper. Not physically, at least. But her words must have cut pretty deep. Piper sounds like she's in pain. Yeah, I mean, she came over and immediately started attacking Piper. I have no idea what Kendall means by that, but Piper obviously does. Kendall looks at Piper coolly, her eyes narrowed. I'm sure she'll find out eventually. Skye's small and news travel fast. You can't keep it from her forever. I'm not trying to keep anything from anyone. I just don't think it really matters, that's all. We're just friends. Just friends, That's what you said to Arya too. Well, whatever. It really is none of my business. I'm glad you found a friend, Piper. Your mother must be so proud of you. Just don't screw it all up this time. You have a bit of a track record when it comes to that. Bye-bye. Kendall gives us a smug, knowing look, then walks off, her ponytail fluttering. I watch her leave, my eyes narrowed, as does Piper. She's so shaken she still hasn't picked her phone up. It's still lying on the grass. Piper doesn't look like she's going to return to her senses anytime soon, so I decide to help out. I bend down to retrieve her fallen phone and hand it over. You dropped this. Oh, right, that's right. Piper blinks several times in rapid succession, then accepts her phone. Hurriedly, she stashes it away in her pocket and gives me a guilty smile. Sorry about all that, Allie. I guess I should have warned you about her, but I didn't think we'd run into her. Skye's small, but it's not that small. I wonder what she was doing here. I think you mentioned her before. She's called Kendall, right? That was Kendall, yeah. Kendall McKinnon. She's pretty, isn't she? Kendall definitely is pretty, but Piper says it without any kind of feeling. It's obvious, based on her dreary tone, that she's not particularly fond of her. Understandably so. She's had it in for me for as long as I can remember. Ever since we were in primary school, actually. Didn't you say you chapped her fingers in a door? That's right. She's never liked me, but she got even worse in secondary school. She's so bitchy. Yeah, exactly. It really didn't sound like she just didn't like you, but that she's just a horrible person. Easy as that. Don't listen to her, alright? She was just trying to rile me up earlier. And it worked. I wish I wasn't so easy to read. Piper groans. Oh well, let's not let her ruin our day. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Oh, sure, that's fine. I don't want to poke my nose into other people's business. I'm not like Ian, so I let the matter drop. I do have a few questions, though. Why was Piper acting so uneasy earlier? Did something happen between her and Kendall? Something beyond the whole slamming her fingers into a door incident, I mean? It seems like there's some real animosity between them, but I have no idea why. Then there's that Arya girl that Kendall mentioned. How does she factor into this mess? I don't know. Well, I have an idea. But I think there's a lot more to this than Piper's letting on. Well, assuming we have some small town homophobia going on here, maybe. But oh well. With that unexpected encounter behind us, Piper does her best to put Kendall from her mind. In Kendall's absence, she soon returns to her cheerful self I've come to know during the last few days. She laughs and jokes, her smiles so blinding they can probably be seen from space. Re-energized, she hurries to take a series of promised selfies. We take about 3 dozen photos together, all told, all around Armadale's expansive grounds. We take pictures framed against the lake, posed by the ivy-strewn arches, and hold up peace signs in vales full of flowers. When the fun of taking selfies wears thin and my stomach begins to rumble, Piper suggests that we should go and find our parents. Okay, I think then this is a good place to stop for today. Okay, yeah, the plot thickens, kind of. I mean, Piper was never quite pretending to be purely happy-go-lucky. If she's been like an outsider from the very start, silent with the kids, and then... yeah, that just sucks. Like, I'm sure small town communities can be fun with the right people if everyone gets along, but like this, if you're kind of shunned, yeah. Like, no wonder she wants to get away from there. But okay, yeah, as I said, this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, leave me any thoughts you might have in the comments down below. And until next time, bye bye!